Body primarily worked today in an area that I'm hoping that we improve from last game, which was our red zone efficiency. We put a lot of work into that today, finalizing the game plan for Cal. On the injury side, just any changes would be Rasheem practiced today and looked good. Ajane practiced today and looked good. We'll see how that progresses tomorrow. Everybody else is status quo. With that, I'll answer any questions that you have.
You got a punt returner in mind?
Yeah, we worked Ajane today as well as Deontay and Jack and worked Trayvon today. And I'm going to visit with Bax later today to make a final decision there. Obviously, if Ajane is healthy and well and feeling good, we would go with him. He is our punt returner. But we practice the other three kids, and if we have to make that decision, then I'll lean on Bax and see which way he wants to go.
Jenny's someone who plays a nickel corner, and teams, when they choose who to play nickel, sometimes they go with the safety, sometimes they go with the corner. When you're picking a guy to play nickel, what type
He's
of
got to
skills
have man coverage skills first, because a lot of the nickel play it involves man work, as well as being able to come well off the edge. Clancy's scheme has a lot of pressure involved, and Ajane has been able to do that. As you've seen out there, we've worked a lot with YK. Yakili Ross this week. He's done a really good job and is prepared for the necessary reps that's needed. Even if Ajane goes, I don't know if he can go the whole game, so we'll see. But he looked very good today. We'll see how he feels tomorrow after a day of work, and then decide.
Do you anticipate Chuma? I know he hasn't used the club in practice. Is that something that he might not use in the game?
Yeah, it was to the point last week that the club was necessary just to be able to protect his hand and to eliminate some pain. He's been in a little bit of softer cast, which you've seen an open hand cast, so he can grab a little bit more. I asked him today, is he better off right now than he was last week? He said, a lot, Coach. So I feel like he is prepared and ready with that soft cast to be able to function.
Any more clarity on how long Porter would be out, or how he's come along this week?
No, I think it's going to be a little time for two injuries and trying to heal both.
Is the toe the issue though?
It's both. He has a bicep tear that you can see.
He does have a tear though.
Yeah, that you can see. It's not operable, and then obviously the toe's got to heal.
There were a number of 3rd and 1s and 4th and 1s against Texas.
Yeah.
You guys normally are in the shotgun for those. What do you like about that as opposed to under center, where you might be able to sneak it?
We do we have both in our package in that game. We went gun. T had the calls for the gun, and we feel very functional in there. We had several 3rd and shorts in those situations at Stanford and executed. I think it was more of better play by Texas on those down and distance than being in the gun or under center. We were very successful the week before last week. Their defensive line did a very good job and held us up on a couple occasions.
How different are the wide receivers as a group if you've got Michael and Tyler in there? What is it?
Yeah, I think just the experience of Michael being, playing in games, and now, Tyler, the light's coming on. You can literally see guys when all of a sudden they start feeling comfortable. And I think last game, in that type of environment to function like he did, he took tremendous strides forward, and a healthy Mike Pittman could go a long way. I said it the other day, and I truly believe as a quarterback, when you're in overtime and you decide to pull the trigger to a redshirt freshman, to Tyler, that means you've built that chemistry and that relationship that's needed in that critical situation. So that I thought that was a big step for both quarterback and wideout moving forward.
Did you think about putting Michael in at all? Was he close enough Saturday to go in?
I think he's really close. Mike's had a good week of work and looked good today. We'll see where his soreness is tomorrow. It's been several weeks now. He looks healthy. I don't know if he's 100%, but he's really close to it. So I'll lean on the doctors as every injury. If they clear him, then we'll ask the player, how he feels, what he wants to do, and then make a decision there. But he's going to get cleared by the doctors first, and then decide how he's feeling. And he wants to go. I know that he's begging.
Can Marlon go? Is Marlon close enough to
Yeah,
go?
yeah. Marlon is in a good. He's practiced all week. He does not look like an issue. Doesn't is moving well. A matter of fact, and so I think he's really close, Dan, to being ready. I got a good feeling that he has a good chance of being cleared.
Was Steven Mitchell able to do anything today?
Stephen Mitchell was not. No. He is still the same.
You might have talked about it a little bit earlier in the week, but just the first road test of the season.
Mhm.
How is the team excited in that sense, and how are the freshmen kind of getting ready for their first big test?
Yeah, we talked a lot about it in our team meeting today, about the attitude that you got to take on the road, that, it is a different environment. It is a different mindset. Usually, we preached last year and we're preaching in this year, what do? You pack your run game, you pack your run defense, you play great special teams and win the turnover battle. And that's usually your road plan. But there's a mentality that I think you have to take into that game to not let the outside distractions come in and you focus on executing a plan, whether that is a different stadium, a different locker room, crowd noise, getting on an airplane and traveling. Sometimes it's for the first time for some kids getting on a plane. So to eliminate all those distractions and just focus on what our job is to do, and that's to go try to win a big Pac-12 ball game, is what we visited on today as a team.
With the uncertainty with the wide receivers, are you taking Randal Grimes with you?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, he will travel with us this week. He's done some good work. We'll see where he is game time and where team wants to use him. But he has worked with us offensively this week and will travel, Scott.
Will teams go to school a little bit on what Texas did and try to, do you look at that and say, okay, people are going to see what Texas did and try to replicate that? Do you try to figure that out?
We'll see. There's a decision. The one thing that I'm really happy with the offense about is, and Zach mentioned it yesterday, is you got to have that balance between run and pass. And if you commit to stopping the run, you have to be able to throw the ball. And if you look up and you're having a limited number of rushing yards and you're only throwing for 152 or 200 yards passing, that's a long day. But there's got to be a complement between the two. If you decide that you're going to take the runaway, that means wideouts and quarterbacks have to execute, perimeter stuff has to execute, and then be efficient on third and short still with that run game. And thank goodness the passing game came through last game.
When people talk about, like, you guys are going to face Justin Wilcox, who used to be on your staff, and when people talk about these matchups, they talk about the coaches kind of knowing each other. Is that an overplayed storyline, or is there an element there where you guys are familiar with each other?
No, you always, it's like going up against, I've been 8 years in the league, and you go up against David Shaw 8 times, and you go up you go up against certain coaches for so many times. Their MO. You try to get a feel for what their personality is, what their calls are. Justin and I were together for 2 years together, and so obviously he knows my personality. I know his. He's an unbelievable, brilliant coach, and I'm an aggressive coach. And I would figure that he will continue that aggressiveness versus us. He's done it in the last 3 games.
One more.
Were there any signs last week in practice that the receivers were having some issues catching the ball, and do you feel like that's kind of been cleaned up?
I didn't see it coming, I'll be honest with you, after the Stanford game and how well they played. To go in and have the drops we did in that next game. I'd like to see us progress each and every game and get better. I thought some kids did, like Tyler I mentioned earlier. I thought progressed. Deontay has been a stable force. I look forward to getting Michael Pittman back healthy, and I really look forward to the progression of Velus Jones to be able to, we're putting him in some situations, and I know he's getting ready to break out here. I see he's the next one I think the light's coming on for, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully it'll be in this game.
Good.
All righty.